The decade is coming to a close and we've had some pretty spectacular and crazy moments in sports, so we're taking a trip down memory lane and looking at the 10 top moments from the last 10 years. How's it going, everyone? It's Devin Howard. If you want to stay up to date with me, find me on Instagram at Devin Howard. And if you want to stay on top of the latest sports news, double check that you've subscribed to the Fumble and ring that bell so you always know when we upload a new video. We've experienced some jaw-dropping moments in sports history since 2010, so let's remember some of the top ones. This was the year Paul the Octopus predicted Germany's games correctly, Spain won the World Cup, and Canada won the gold medal in the ice hockey Olympic Games. But we're going to be talking about a miraculous moment in that pivotal Saints vs. Colts game. The New Orleans Saints were down 10-6 at halftime, but the opening kick of the second half completely changed their luck. Thomas Morstead surprised the Colts with an onside kick, and the Saints kicker did it flawlessly. Colts receiver Hank Baskett had the ball in possession, but lost it, allowing the Saints to be the ones to kick off the start of that second half. They went on to score 25 points in the second half, leading to their victory, which was culminated by Tracy Porter's interception return for a touchdown. Next up, we have 2011. The U.S. women's soccer team won over America, even though they lost to Japan in the finals. The Dallas Mavericks stunned everyone by winning over the Miami Heat, and the Green Bay Packers brought the Lombardi Trophy home. But we have to talk about the moment when Major League Baseball actually became interesting. On the final day of the regular season, the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays were tied for the AL wildcard. In early September of 2011, the Red Sox held a 9-game lead, but down the stretch the Sox went 7-19, leading to a horrific collapse and an eventual grab of the wildcard by the Rays. On the very last day of the regular season, the Sox took home the L to the Orioles in Baltimore thanks to a 2-run ninth inning by the Orioles. Then minutes after the Orioles won, Evan Longoria hit a walk-off home run to cap off an 8-run comeback by the Rays over the Yankees, and that launched his team into the playoffs. That went down on September 28th, 2011. Was there another moment that you remember from 2011, Fumble fans? Be sure to tell me down below. Now it's time to cover some of the events from 2012. This is the year that Tim Tebowing became a thing. LeBron James was named NBA MVP for the 3rd year in a row, and it was the year Lance Armstrong lost all his titles after it was discovered that he was using performance-enhancing drugs. The most memorable moment from 2012, though, was when Michael Phelps became the most decorated Olympian ever. He went to London with 16 medals to his name. He only needed 3 to pass Russian gymnast Larissa Ladinina as the most decorated Olympian of all time. He left the 2012 Summer Games with 22 total medals, 18 of which were gold. That is completely remarkable. His record-breaking medal was awarded to him after the men's 200-meter freestyle relay. Michael Phelps solidified his place in Olympic history. It'll be hard for any athlete to beat him in medals and in golds. If there's another 2012 sports story you love, share it with me in the comments. Now, 2013 was a bit of a dark year for sports. There were a lot of pretty wild things that went down. Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, and Kobe all suffered pretty serious injuries that impacted the NBA playoffs. Aaron Hernandez was investigated and arrested on charges of first-degree murder, and Oscar Pistorius shot and killed his girlfriend. And just to add to the dark year we had back in 2013, we had literal darkness, the NFL Super Bowl blackout. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest televised events of the year, and in 2013, it experienced a blackout. Half the lights in the Superdome suddenly went out, and the game had to be stopped until power could be restored. Of course, there were a bunch of conspiracy theories about why that happened, but we won't go into those. The Ravens were the victors in that game against the Niners. I remember that blackout so clearly. How about you guys? Let's jump ahead to 2014. 50 Cent threw his first pitch. Kobe Bryant surpassed Michael Jordan to move to 3rd on the all-time career scoring list, and Missouri defensive lineman Michael Sam came out as gay. But what takes the cake are all the NFL scandals. We had Ray Rice, who came under fire for knocking his fiancée unconscious in an elevator. It was a high-profile domestic violence case. We also watched the major missteps by Roger Goodell in handling the whole Rice situation. We can't forget about Adrian Peterson's indiscretion when he was charged with child abuse after using a switch to hit his son. Domestic violence League's troubles dominated the headlines about the NFL, and because of that, the league implemented harsher domestic violence policies, which is a win for anyone suffering at home. There's still a long way to go, but it's a step in the right direction. If you have any happier sports moments from 2014, you know what to do. Put them in the comments, people. On to a brighter note, we saw a dog skateboarder ride through a 30-person tunnel and break a world record in 2015. Maybe not entirely sports related, but it's worth mentioning nonetheless. The halfway mark of the decade also brought us a landmark moment when Munich's football team scored a record 5 goals in 9 minutes, and Missouri's players stood up against racism. And Deflategate. At the AFC Championship game, the Patriots won over the Colts, but in the second half kickoff, game officials replaced the 12 balls that were used in the first half with 12 backup balls that had been approved before the game, which drew some skepticism and concern. It was later discovered that 11 of the 12 balls used in the first half of the game were significantly underinflated. Security footage showed a locker room attendant carrying 2 bags of balls into the bathroom and then exiting 90 seconds later. Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games and the team was fined $1 million and surrendered 2 draft picks. It was the scandal of the year. In 2016, Conor McGregor suffered his first loss to Nate Diaz and then won the rematch. Kobe Bryant played his final game and dropped 60 points. Katie Ledecky absolutely crushed it at the Rio Games. The Cavaliers won the 2016 NBA Finals in the most iconic way possible. They took home the victory in Game 7 against the team projected to take home the title. They capped off a 3-1 deficit in doing so.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3.
It all came down to an impeccable block LeBron made late in the fourth quarter. It was a memorable defensive play in finals history.
By Spade's final seconds, it's over! It's over! Cleveland is a city of champions once again! The Cavaliers are NBA champions!
In 2017, Serena Williams earned her 23rd Grand Slam win at the Australian Open, defeating her older sister Venus in a final game. She also won a game while pregnant. Michael Phelps swam in his final Olympic race. Usain Bolt went 3 for 3 for 3 straight Olympics. Tom Brady also got his revenge on Roger Goodell. Following the whole Deflategate scandal and Tom's 4-game suspension to begin the season, the Patriots still made it to the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan was hoping to edge out the Patriots for Atlanta's first Super Bowl win in history, and for a long time it looked like the Falcons were going to do that. Then, when they were winning by a score of 28-3 in the third quarter, things changed. The Patriots scored 25 unanswered points, including 2 two-point conversions to send the game into overtime. In 4 short minutes, running back James White scored the game-winning touchdown, giving New England yet another victory. It was an outrageous comeback and gave Tom Brady a reason to gloat, while Roger Goodell congratulated him and had to shake his hand. And now for 2018. Last year, the Warriors won their 3rd title. Simone Biles took home 6 medals at the World Gymnastics Championships. Colin Kaepernick made his Nike commercial debut. But the most OMG moment of 2018 was J.R. Smith's big finals fail. The meme-worthy moment has not been and will not be forgotten. Smith dribbled out the clock in the final seconds of regulation in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, a little overconfident that the Cavs had secured the win.
Hill misses. Rebound goes to the Cavs. J.R. Smith brings it back out. Throws it to Hill. Hill shot blocked. And we'll go to overtime.
It was probably the worst blunder ever made in the history of sports, and it produced some hilarious memes. LeBron's agonized expression as he looked at Smith incredulously continues to make its way around the internet. Wow. That one was a rough one, you guys. And now to the final year in this list, 2019, the end of a decade, and one that was filled with many historic and monumental sports stories. The Patriots took home their 6th Super Bowl title, U.S. women's soccer team triumphed in a major way at the World Cup, and the Nationals won their first World Series. But the event that takes the cake here was the NBA Finals. The Toronto Raptors experienced a remarkable, awe-inspiring postseason led by the most fun guy around, Kawhi Leonard.
Defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game
They became the first non-US team to win the NBA title. They took home the victory 114-110 over the Golden State Warriors, thwarting their dreams of a three-peat. Kawhi Leonard solidified his spot as a top player before eventually leaving the Raptors behind him to join the Clippers with Paul George. The finals were extremely high stakes and so fun to watch. And now we're at 2020. The Lakers have a stacked roster and are poised to make it to the playoffs. Baseball fans are guessing that the Yankees will finish with the best record. The Patriots are poised to win the Super Bowl again. It's going to be another big year in sports, and I know I'm excited. Fumble fans, what was your favorite moment from the last decade? Did I miss any major stories? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more daily sports news. I'm Devin Howard, and you're watching The Fumble.